BFDI Branches is a 2D platformer released in June of 2024 based on the Battle for Dream Island web series created by Jack and Jellyfy back in 2010. Its gameplay is deceptively simple. In most cases, it only boils down to running and jumping. With its story mode currently only having 4 main levels, the game can easily be beaten in just a few minutes. However, the game also allows its users to make and upload their own levels, which has caused it to spawn a huge community on Discord. Completing featured levels, more commonly known as spotlighted levels, grants users dream points, also known as DP. Getting enough DP can put you on top of the leaderboard, something many players have strived and struggled for. But as always, if there's competition, there's cheaters, and none of them are more infamous than the one we're covering today, one who has gone under the radar for almost the entirety of the game's history, one who has lied, manipulated, and deceived in an attempt to keep their image. Today, for the first time, they will finally be exposed and justice will be served at long last. This is the story of the AJ Live, and how one of the most respected members of the community turned out to be nothing more than a fraud. The AJ Live, who I'll mainly also be referring to as AJ Live or simply AJ for the rest of this video, started playing BFDI Branches pretty much as soon as the game was released, creating an account only around 9 hours after launch. That's also only 89 minutes after a certain player named Mixprogram had created his account, who quickly became one of the best players in the game. Don't worry, that'll actually be important later. Anyway, AJ Live quickly began to clear spotlighted levels over the next few days. He cleared over 100 of them within less than 2 weeks, and while he wasn't clearing levels as fast as some other people, he still had a respectable spot on the leaderboard. Just a month after the game was released, he had already climbed all the way up to 5th place. AJ was also very well known and well liked within the community. He subscribed to the highest tier on the BFDI Branches Patreon, modded the game to add his own characters, and even became a beta tester, meaning he could get early builds of future updates before the general public could. I sure hope that doesn't cause any problems. On August 19th, 2024, after multiple straight weeks of grinding, a user by the name of 10x had finally verified and uploaded the current hardest custom level in the game, titled No Place for Fire. This level was unlike anything else that had come before it, and on top of being a relatively enormous level, it combined essentially every obstacle and technique in the book to make something truly monstrous. Because of this, it was the first level in the game to receive the highest difficulty rating, a difficulty 10. Then, out of nowhere, on September 3rd, 2024, just 16 days after the level was published, AJ Live cleared it. Immediately, the clear was met with an outpour of excitement, congratulations, and surprise. But something was off. As it turns out, AJ had forgotten to record his winning run, and therefore had no solid proof of beating the level besides the screenshot he had posted of the clear screen. However, this seemingly raised no eyebrows at the time. Another top player, Supersonico, suggested that he stream runs of the level to prove his consistency, and thus prove his legitimacy. If he could get at least somewhat far in the level, then it would mostly confirm that he did indeed obtain the necessary skill required to beat the level beforehand. Unfortunately, this suggestion would simply remain as just an idea for the time being. Most of the player base already saw his completion as legit due to his high place on the leaderboard. But that wasn't enough proof for the game's best players. They wanted definitive proof, and AJ Live was reluctant to give any. The suspicion that had arisen within these few top players was big enough to result in the creation of a new group chat on September 16th, 2024, the Government of Branches. The Government of Branches was overseen by Barfy, the main programmer of the game. Also invited along to the chat were me, Scooby, 10x, and Supersonico, along with a few others. Our main goal was simple, to find evidence that proved AJ had cheated his clear of No Place for Fire. Our first lead to go off of was that on the same day the group chat was created, 10x was finally able to get AJ to stream gameplay of No Place for Fire, and things were already not looking good for him. Many of his attempts failed at the very first jump, a jump that was extremely easy and consistent if you knew what you were doing. 10x was able to get runs much farther than he did within just a few attempts. After that, Barfy, using his access to the BFDI Branches database, exported a sheet containing every single one of AJ's level clears, up to his most recent one at the time. Immediately, we saw some of the most shocking and definitive evidence yet, stuff that not only absolutely confirmed that AJ's clear of No Place for Fire had to have been cheated, but stuff that suggested AJ had cheated his clears of almost every single difficult level he had ever played. Look at this string of clears that happened on September 1st, 2024. On the right, you can see the difficulty value of the level, with 9 being the second highest difficulty in the game. What we're really interested in though, is the completion dates beside each level's ID. Notice anything suspicious? It's that these levels were cleared only mere minutes after one another. with 2 of the clears only having a gap of 1 minute. That is simply impossible. Any level with a difficulty of 7 or higher takes at least some amount of trial and error to beat, and that especially goes for difficulty 9 levels, which even the most skilled players usually spend hours on before clearing them. And there's even more examples of him clearing large amounts of difficult levels in such a furiously short amount of time that there's also no way they were legit. The earliest one dates all the way back to July 4th, 2024, just 11 days after the game's release. What's really crazy, however, is that also on July 4th, AJ Live posted a video in the Branches Discord to show off an audience retention mod he made.
It's not nap time, Stewie. Wake up.
But what's actually interesting about this is that 1 minute and 3 seconds into the video, we can see him collide with an enemy and somehow not take damage. From this, we can clearly conclude that AJ had created and used a no damage mod to illegitimately complete levels, and that he simply forgot to disable it or didn't care enough to disable it when recording this video. The fact that the date of this video's recording also lines up with some of his first sketchy clears is an extremely dead giveaway to his cheating. Also on the same day, he shared that he had figured out a way to give the player negative health, which also results in the player becoming invincible. On another note, the first trace of AJ's cheating actually goes back even farther than July 4th as well. On June 27th, 2024, GD Nacho, another programmer for the game, hosted a livestream where he would play viewer-requested levels and spotlight them. One of these levels was named Flying Fiasco 2. GD Nacho played it for a little bit, but quickly moved on due to the level's difficulty and that he simply wanted to spotlight more levels before the stream ended. While Flying Fiasco 2 was given a difficulty 8 rating, the level was later found out to be humanly impossible. And guess what? It was made by none other than the AJ Live, who quickly deleted the level from the servers after realizing this. When he was confronted by GD Nacho, AJ responded with this hilariously fake story as an excuse. You can pause the video in case you want to read it, it's really funny. And somehow, the evidence just keeps on going. On October 16th, 2024, AJ posted a picture of his monitor with a decompiled version of Branches being run through Godot, which is the game engine that Branches was developed in. If we look at the bar on the top, we can see an asset called Level Completion GUI. According to Barfy, this GUI is not in the game's files in any way, leading us to believe that AJ scripted it himself. As if running through levels with invincibility was somehow too hard, now he was likely completing levels with just the click of a button. This is proven by the fact that AJ has an impossible time on a level called I Hate You. Not even a tool-assisted speedrun is able to beat his time. By this point, I think you get the idea, so I'll just flash the rest of the evidence on the screen really quickly. So I guess this only leaves us with the question of, why? Why did he do this? Well, there is one theory that we made, and it's really the only explanation we could think of. On July 4th, 2024, the same day AJ started cheating clears, Barfy very briefly accidentally uploaded an incorrectly sized profile background, and while it was only up for a few minutes, AJ was able to purchase it before it was removed. We assumed that AJ wanted to get to the top of the leaderboard in order to show off this extremely rare background, so he started cheating levels to climb the ranks as quickly as possible. It only makes sense that he started illegitimately completing levels on the same day he got his glitched profile, considering that the Flying Fiasco 2 incident proved that he already knew how to cheat. And with that, we are finally done talking about the how and why of the AJ Live's cheating. So, what's gonna happen to AJ? The answer is very clear and obvious. His account will be permanently banned from the BFDI Branches online servers. On top of that, clicking on his profile while in the level browser will actually directly link you to this exposal video as well. And remember how I said all the way back in chapter 1 that AJ Live was a beta tester? That role will also be removed too. In fact, that's the main reason we've waited so long to confront him. We were worried that if we exposed him before the release of the version 0.2 update, he might have leaked the beta builds way before public release as retaliation.
Hey guys, Editing Mix Program here. So you might have noticed that this video came out before the release of the 0.2 update, and that's because 10X leaked everything. He pretty much blackmailed us and kind of forced us to confront AJ right then and there. So here's some screenshots of that confrontation. 10X is also getting banned because of all this, and yeah, this is just crazy, dude. At the very least, AJ said he's not gonna leak anything, so that's good. Yeah, back to the video now.
Unfortunately, because this update took such a long time to release, AJ was still able to participate in the creation of some other mods and collab levels, so I would like to apologize on my behalf for how the community is only getting to find out about this right now. I hope this exposal makes it obvious that cheating is really stupid and that it causes problems for everyone. The real prestige of becoming one of the best players in a game is the fact that you had to work extremely hard for it. If you cheat your way through that, you're just cheating yourself. In this case, the AJ Live cheated himself out of a wonderful community that really looked up to him, and it's a huge shame that he turned out to be a fraud almost this entire time. To make sure this doesn't happen again, we have agreed to make recording clear footage a requirement for verifying the legitimacy of someone who beats a difficulty 10 level. Unrecorded clears will now definitively be considered illegitimate. Big thanks to the other people in the government of branches for helping me make this video. Hopefully, we'll never have to make something like this ever again. Cheaters will always get caught in the end, so don't be one of them.